Oh yes, it's time to take a look at the Object 775 Pancake. So this is quite literally the flattest vehicle in the game at the moment. I mean, just look at this thing. This is a very small medium tank, and it's also quite the scary one. This little thing only has TGMs as its primary ammo, and surprisingly only has 2 crew members, but the overall frontal armor and the overall survivability of this little thing is actually pretty incredible. But let's take a look at the stats first. 125mm is the caliber of the main gun, 66 km/h is top speed, reverse is 5 km/h, it weighs 36 tons, 2 crew members as already mentioned, average penetration is 500mm. The ATGM is just a little bit better than the ATGM on the IT1. Frontal armor is really good, the frontal upper plate is really well sloped, but the weak spot is still the lower plate, and if you can manage to hit the top of the turret of this vehicle, it will just explode. But overall, survivability wise, the fact this is such a small vehicle, this is such a pancake. I mean, it's flat, it's ridiculously low profile. I haven't seen any vehicle that's more flat than this thing. Quite the iconic vehicle as well, and a lot of players love it, and the UFO tank is probably one of the next vehicles that will be added. But let's take this pancake out for a little ride and let's see what it can do. Now, the reverse speed of the vehicle is kind of notoriously bad. It's about the same reverse speed that we have seen on the T-72s and above, and the new vehicles also have roughly the same reverse speed, and it's, I would say, pretty much the only drawback that I have about this vehicle. The reverse is really bad. However, the main cannon of this vehicle is really solid, 125mm ATGM launcher. The reload is obviously a auto-loader, and the reload on this thing is insanely fast. This vehicle might very well have one of the best firepowers out of any tier 8 premium at the moment. It yeets those missiles out like no big deal, and it also has a very interesting autoloader. If you look at the X-ray of the vehicle, the autoloader is like a revolver at the bottom of the vehicle. I honestly like the way that this vehicle is constructed. The X-ray of this vehicle is definitely worth looking at. Now, being a pancake like this vehicle is at the moment, it does have some drawbacks. For example, the Merkava is universally accepted as the best premium in the game at the moment. Not the best vehicle in the game, but probably the best premium. And the Merkava is a bit tall, has very good armor, the turret is quite tough, the survivability on that thing is really good. However, technically the pancake here should have better survivability than the Merkava, but the only problem is you might not be able to take advantage of some of the places where you can go with the Merkava, for example, because of the height of this vehicle. The Merkava is literally twice the height of this medium tank, and that means you will not be able to go to some hull down positions because of the vehicle's height. Which is funny, because the Merkava was quite famous for the fact that you can just go hull down and basically be nearly immortal. This vehicle could potentially be able to do the same thing, although this vehicle is very small and you rather rely on stealth when you're driving the Object 775. Of course, if you can go find a hull down position, that will work, but with this vehicle I find that a bit weird because of the height. It's definitely not a very tall vehicle. I mean, that's where the nickname Pancake comes from. It's a flat vehicle, flat tank. The lower plate is the weak spot. The upper plate, I don't know if there is anything that can go through the upper plate. I think the ATGMs and heat FS shells are basically the only shell types able to go out to punch through the upper plate. Maybe tandem missiles, because I've been... Where did that even hit? Yeah, the hitboxes are definitely something in this game. But the upper plate on this is very tough, and most AP shells will just bounce off. So if you are facing this vehicle, do not shoot it at the upper plate. Try to shoot at the top of the turret, or aim at the lower plate. That's where the weak spots are located. The ammo is pretty much in the same position as with the previous vehicles of this type. Basically, lower right hull is where you want to shoot for the ammo, but it only has 2 crew members, so if you manage to penetrate the vehicle even once, that should be enough to destroy the object. Only 2 crew members, which is actually kind of insane. Kind of a advanced vehicle for its time, and I have really enjoyed it so far. This is one of the more unique vehicles, definitely, and I personally enjoy driving it. I haven't enjoyed it as much as I did with the Merkava, for example. Merkava is probably my favorite premium in the game, and will remain my favorite premium in the game for quite a while to come. There needs to be something else that can top off the Merkava when it comes to on the premium scale. Because the Merkava slaps. I love that vehicle. It's really solid. Okay, let's go to the next battle. That was kind of a chill, quick battle. Now, how do you play this vehicle? It actually does play like any other vehicle of its type, to be honest. The only difference is the height, I guess. That's the main difference between this vehicle and the other medium tanks and main battle tanks of its tier. The ATGM is pretty fast, as you can see. I don't know. I think this is like the third or second main battle tank that has ATGM as its primary ammo. There is the Accra AMX that does launch supersonic ATGMs. The Accra actually has a much better ATGM than this vehicle, but the Accra's survivability is definitely not the same as the survivability of this vehicle. This vehicle has one of the better survivabilities when it comes to the premium vehicles. And I've noticed, I don't know if this is new, but the ATGMs fly through, are able to fly through objects. Now, I hit that vehicle behind cover. I don't know if that's new, but if that is new, that's a very interesting change. Now the ATGM flies through cover, and if that's unique to this vehicle, then so be it. But I think that's kind of universal for all, well, for most of the ATGMs now. After all, every vehicle does have a unique ATGM, and this ATGM seems to be interesting, to say the least. It's fast, that's for sure. A very speedy missile. And that autoloader, I'm telling you, the autoloader of this vehicle is just insane. I didn't look at the reload time, but it feels like I'm using the STR V103C with its 4-second autoloader. But yeah, I really like the autoloader on this vehicle. It's insane. Yep, the second, when you launch the missile, the next one is already prepared. And you can technically shoot above cover, but you just need to get used to the speed. Oh look, and fuel exploded. There we go. They shot me in the upper plate. That will bounce. You do not shoot this vehicle at the upper plate unless you can actually go through. I don't know how much. It has a lot of armor. You need a lot of penetration to go through the upper plate. There we go. Did you see that? That was some aimbot action there. When my aimbot finger kicks in, that's something else. And that's just a joke, obviously. There is no aimbot in the game. The only aimbot is pretty much my own finger that sometimes knows to to guide the ATGM in its right place. So yeah, I think the only bad thing about this vehicle is the reverse speed, being the classic reverse speed on the T72, 5 km/h. At least it's not 4, but you know, it is still very slow in reverse. So that's one thing to watch out for. The reverse might not be enough to get back in cover on time. And the fact that this vehicle is so small and, well, it's obviously a pancake, means that you really need to position yourself in a very good position if you don't want to get yeeted out of nowhere, which tends to happen often if you can get back to cover on time. And there we go, I got hit in the third and one crew member kicked the bucket. And that's all the other bad things about the vehicle. Only 2 crew members means that when one of them gets knocked out, you will immediately be unable to move for quite a while, until the other crew member kicks in and replaces the previous one. So, yeah. Having a lot of crew is actually sometimes really useful, especially because if one of them gets hit, you can actually go back to safety. In this vehicle, if one of them gets hit, the vehicle is unable to move. So that's one of the other drawbacks of the pancake, but at the same time, the good armor of this vehicle kind of prevents the crew getting hit. But at the same time, it's a good vehicle. I mean, it's definitely a good vehicle. I'm not going to complain about the object, because this is a very solid premium vehicle. But is it broken? Is it overpowered? Well, obviously not. I mean, shoot it at the commander's hatch with high explosive and the vehicle is pretty much dead. That's that's how you disable the object. And that's a T-72A. Well, that was a T-72A, not anymore. Now it's a destroyed T-72A. I love the autoloader, I already mentioned that, but I seriously love the autoloader of this vehicle. It's kind of crazy how fast it's able to shoot. Oh, and they somehow we both missed. I love the buggy magic walls that are just all over the place in the game. But that was actually, how did that even... It hit the main gun and just destroyed... I don't know what happened there. That was weird. That was a very weird hit. That's for sure. And this does seem to be a fail, but nonetheless was still a very solid match. So, that was the Object 775, the so-called pancake tank. Definitely justify the name. This thing is really low profile, really flat, as they say. And do I like this vehicle? Yes, it's actually incredible. A really nice vehicle. But do tell me what you think about the object in the comments down below. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. And as always, I'll see you next time.